How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Ginny Arts. I'm Ginny, and today we're gonna learn how to draw a simple sketch tattoo bull design. To start off, I drew a symmetry line and a circle in the middle of it. Then I extended the circle in a way to create a bull's jaw. Then I added the eyes there at the sides of the circle around the middle of it. You can improvise on the shape of the eyes if you make them a bit thinner. I guess that's the only word I know for it. The bull will be a bit more angry, and if you make it more circular like I did, the bull will look a bit more friendlier. Then I drew in the nostrils and extended the part where the nose is. Not extended, I meant widened the part where the nose is and added the bottom jaw. Then somewhere around the place where the eyes start, like the top part of the eye, I started drawing the ears. Also with ears you can experiment on the shapes. I followed a realistic image of a bull, which I highly recommend doing in order to achieve this drawing. So yeah, but you can experiment, make this design your own. Basically, if I'm looking at the anatomy of the bull, the ear starts where the top part of the eye is. It goes to the side, and when it comes back, the bottom part of the ear is around the place where the eye, or where the bottom of the eye is. So yeah, but you can experiment on this. Then I sketched in a sort of a line to represent the inner part and the outer part of the ear, and to finish off the sketch, I decided to draw some horns because what's a bull without his horns? For the horns, you can experiment on the shape and size. Again, I followed a reference image, so I didn't experiment too much, but well, it's not exactly the same as the photo that I used. Anyway, so once you have that, just finish off the forehead, I guess, the top of the head, and add a few lines to indicate where the nose is. Then to finish out the sketch itself, draw a neck, as you can see me doing in the video. I experimented on how I could make, well, what kind of shape should I do in order to make the finish of the design a bit more aesthetic, but I went with a really simple sort of front chest piece, just going down into a point. So yeah, once you have that design done, we can move on to the next step. Next step is to actually create the sketch design feel. And to do that, just create everything with lines. Follow your outline by creating lines that overlap with each other, creating an X. Those lines can be curved, they can be straight, whatever you want. Again, experiment on this. Make this design your own. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be symmetrical. Just make sure you like the outcome of it. I left some areas like the eyes circular because, well, I don't know, with all my sketch tattoo designs I do that. I feel like it gives a bit more life to it. But yeah, and don't worry if it looks weird, because until we start rendering the image it will look weird, and well, it's kind of a step you have to overcome. Once you have this step completed, we can move on to the lining. For lining, I used a pigment ink liner that is a size of 0.8, and well, I outlined the whole design, leaving only, I believe, one line at the nose, non-outline. You can actually do thick lines on the outside of the image, and you can use a thinner liner for the details. In this design, once again, I only use the thinner liner for a couple of details, so yeah, but it's all up to you. Then once you have everything outlined, we can start sketching, well, filling the whole image. By sketching, I mean actually shading. To shade with a pigment ink liner, you have to use a really thin one. I used a 0.05. You can also use a 0.03. Just find the size that works for you. To get the shading effect, you have to really focus on your hand movement. It has to be light. You have to feather out each line, and it's sort of cross-hatching, but at the same time it's really similar as if you were shading with a ball pen. So yeah, how to know where the shadows are. On every sketch tattoo design, I take a realistic approach to it, as if I was drawing a realism piece. I think of the light sources, I think of the shapes, and I try to follow, especially for the head of the animal, I try to follow imaginary fur lines, meaning I try to follow the flow of the fur, which I don't actually draw here, all I do is shade. If you're unsure on where the shadows are, which parts should be a bit lighter, you can just follow me, follow what I do in the video, and you should have great results. Also, this design was a bit trickier for me to get because somehow I couldn't get the hand movement, and I ended up creating too much darkness in the forehead area. One thing I realized that you can use an eraser to lighten up the design a bit. It won't erase the line fully, but it will lighten it up in order for you to, well, basically you'll be able to go over it and redo the area that you messed up. So yeah, but hopefully you don't, and yeah. And you're done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, and if you have any ideas on what you'd like to see me draw next and what style, just leave a comment. I'm up for anything new. Also, I'll have some realism videos uploaded in the nearest future, but right now I'm focusing on this type of art. You can follow me on my social media, and also I just started a new Instagram page for artists to get a free feature. I post 3 times a day. The link of the Instagram page is in the description. Make sure to check that out, and I'll see you guys next week.